It may have been the most anticipated moment of the coronation on May 6 for King Charles III at London's Westminster Abbey. And no, I'm not even talking about when the Archbishop of Canterbury placed the 360-year-old St. Edward's crown on the head of the king. Instead, I am talking about the arrival of his alienated younger son, Prince Harry, who, along with his nasty wife Meghan Markle, has repeatedly rocked the royal family with allegations and interviews, a Netflix docuseries, and of course that memoir Spare, ever since they left for the US back in 2020. As millions of people all around the world were watching, the 38-year-old was smiling and he was talking with his cousins, Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice, and their husbands too. But he received hardly even a glance from his older brother, Prince William, and his wife, Princess Catherine. Of course, they were wearing royal regalia and they were seated in the front row. He didn't expect William and Kate to approach him at the Abbey, according to an insider who spoke with Star, but it still stung. Harry had to sit in the third row, the same as his disgraced uncle, Prince Andrew, and he couldn't even see the ceremony very well thanks to a feather in his Aunt Princess Anne's military hat. Harry looked very emotional sometimes during the 2-hour ceremony, and it's no wonder why. The source who spoke with Star claims that Harry considers his in-and-out trip to the UK his final goodbye to his family. He skipped the celebratory luncheon and he headed right to the airport to fly home, supposedly to celebrate his son Archofficial's 4th birthday. The insider says he is loyal to his own family now, and if that means effectively writing his UK family out of his life, so be it. As Harry made his cameo at the coronation, the ghostwriter of Spare finally broke his silence. He shared his opinion on what makes Harry tick, a thirst for vengeance. While I always emphasize storytelling and scenes, Harry couldn't escape the wish that Spare might be a rebuttal to every lie ever published about him. This is coming from J.R. Moringer, who spoke with The New Yorker. And of course, Harry claims that most of those lies were given to the press by his own family. He and Meghan, who are also parents of invisible child Lilibet, have repeatedly talked about their desire for an apology, or at least an acknowledgement from the royal family, and they have been left feeling disappointed. It was very apparent to Harry that he was being tolerated versus really welcomed or wanted at the coronation, according to the insider. The insider also added that his relationship with the Prince and Princess of Wales is non-existent. And that point was really demonstrated by all the slides that Harry had to endure. The source says that he had to do that in order to pay tribute to his father. In addition to being seated right next to accused sex offender Andrew, the military veteran was not allowed to wear his uniform, and as a non-working senior royal, he wasn't allowed to stand on the balcony of Buckingham Palace either. Even though he was invited, he chose not to attend the celebratory luncheon. Harry's a very proud character. He wasn't going to walk into that viper's nest, according to the insider. Skipping the event was his way of saving face, a big F you to his critics, because it deprived them the chance to snipe and go after him. Similarly, Meghan didn't want to come to the ceremony at all. She supposedly wanted to avoid scrutiny. In the end, the one glitch in that day was actually caused by William and Catherine. The couple and their children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, got to the Abbey a little bit late, forcing an upset Charles to stew in the Diamond Jubilee coach with Queen Camilla before he got to make his grand entrance. "We can never be on time," he said, according to a pro lip reader, adding, "There's always something." Meanwhile, most people were just thrilled that Meghan declined to attend the coronation of the king and queen, because the atmosphere was so much nicer with her not being there. Although, to be honest, I was actually kind of looking forward to all the booing that she would have received. I thought that might help her actually, so then she wouldn't feel confused anymore about how the Brits see her. After all, Meghan Markle only has that Duchess title thanks to the generosity of the late Queen. And really, it had nothing to do with Meghan. It was only because the late Queen adored her grandson. And I don't believe she was so fond of him once she passed away. I'm pretty sure she couldn't stand that woman, though. And if she could have done so, I'm guessing she would have gladly taken back the gift. That woman never deserved that title anyway, and she should be losing it soon. In my mind, she's never going to be a duchess. I mean, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it is still a pig. She said when Archofficial was born that she didn't want titles for the children, let's remember. And then she went on Oprah's show and she complained and said that they denied Archofficial any titles because of the color of his skin, even though the fact is he was offered the Earl of Dumbarton by the Queen, but Meghan didn't want it. She is such a hypocrite. So I guess that's why she waited to announce that in fact she would take the titles prince and princess for those children. She did that to get attention from William and Catherine, who were in the news at the time. And I'm guessing she's not even going to feel like any explanation is required by her to the kids. She probably feels like she never has to explain for anything, and I don't believe those kids will be brave enough to question her. They're going to be pretty scared of her, I would guess, as they're getting older. They would have learned from a very early age that Meghan Markle is not somebody to question. If the children are real and if they really do live with Meghan and Harry, they're going to figure out very early on that she is incapable of telling the truth. I feel bad for those kids, but I'm afraid it's way too late for Archofficial now. I don't know if he's going to be able to grow up to be a nice adult, if he really does live with them, and if he's a real boy, that is. I mean, growing up with a couple of narcissists and drug addicts, it doesn't bode well. Give me the child till he is 4, and I will give you the man. That is the first lesson that people learn in psychology. And even though we don't want Meghan, it seems like a real shame that the 2 children couldn't be there. They're way too young to be at the ceremony, but still, they could have participated in the photo shoots along with the rest of the family on the coronation day for their own grandfather. Later on, they're probably going to be asking a lot of questions, like why they weren't there. Oh, well, because your mother was so nasty to everybody and she wouldn't allow you to go. On the other hand, it has always been pretty clear that many Americans out there simply do not understand the royal family. People like Meghan believe it's just some kind of celebrity clique. Obviously, Meghan expected to be at the top of the tree when she first joined the family, and I guess it came as quite a surprise to her when she wasn't. Even some Americans wanted to know why Meghan couldn't be the queen in the future. Some people thought that there was voting involved. I don't know why, but they did. And the fact that Meghan could not make the coronation all about her caused some real problems. Rumor has it they were demanding a place on the balcony. Now, the balcony was only for working royals, and also Meghan was demanding that Happy Birthday be sung to Archofficial at the coronation. The coronation is all about the king and the future of the royal family. Meghan and Harry are simply not relevant, and I suspect that should be the end of it. The family also welcomed her into their midst with open arms. Her royal wedding to Harry was viewed by nearly 2 billion people, and she enjoyed the support of Prince Charles and the Queen. They actually liked her at one point. And then she turns around and claims that she had to leave the UK because of the color of her skin because she's biracial. Nobody even realized that. Most people just thought that she was white, maybe Mediterranean or Italian or something like that. But anyway, at one point in time, the British press really loved her too. But no negative press for months after the wedding. I mean, how is that racist? No, people don't like her because of her own behavior. Things like announcing her pregnancy at the wedding for poor Eugenie, not releasing photos of the baby just because she didn't want to, that's not okay. It's also interesting that in her BBC interview after she got engaged to Prince Harry, Meghan claimed that she didn't know anything about the royal family. But at the same time, she used to be a blogger, and she even wrote articles about Catherine. And you, what do you think about them? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, remember to like and share it with anyone else who would enjoy it. And don't be afraid to subscribe